What I learned from our friends in the Ukraine, the most important thing now is really to deliver Taurus, our cruise missiles, to support as regards logistics, to move on producing ammunition, etc., etc. So that is very key.
I do agree, first of all, fully that there is no other option than to continue the support. There is no other option than to just continue building up these defense capabilities. But the starting point is really at a dramatically low level, and we have problems on the financial side in terms of that there's still far too long lead time between political agreements, increased defense spendings before you have the contract to the industry.
I think we have the overarching objective to make sure that we are defense ready. Are we defense ready? Absolutely not. And I think we are too slowly waking up to that reality. We are still, faced with, piecemeal, basically orders, small orders being basically placed on a kind of random mode. And industry simply fails to take the decision to invest in new production line because they don't have visibility on whether they can recoup their investment.
Okay. Russia produces now in half a year roughly as much as the entirety of Germany's Bundeswehr stock is at the moment, right? To reach the gap to the levels that we used to have 20 or 30 years ago, you need not a few years, you need decades. And that's a problem, in particular, if you think that Boris Pistorius, the German defense minister and the most popular politician of Germany, by the way, is right that, Russia might be ready to attack a NATO country in 5 to 8 years. I mean, decades for replenishing our forces is not going to be enough.
After Guntram, I think we need a drink. We fund it with money.
We fund it with money.
This is not a banal answer, because in the past, what we have done in Europe is that since money was the stumbling block, we tried to find way around. And way around was, to regulate and go the regulatory channel rather than facing the money issue in the first place. Now, a good way, at least in my mind, to frame the issue is to think about the delivery and the financing combined with the EU level and national level.
We are in a situation, in the mission letter of Mr. Kubilius, it's written down that we have to prepare for the most, for the most extreme military contingencies, and we still have a lending policy in Europe, according to taxonomy rules, that a defense industry cannot be funded or has a worse crediting rating, when this industry is attached. So this is ridiculous.
We will not be able to structurally fund defense expenditure over decades. Just out of additional deficits. So my view is really, yes, a second debt fund I think is needed.
What I want to stress is that, in fact, this question about the money is a question on how to repay a debt that we owe to our security. I mean, the finding that we made just a few months after the brutal aggression on Ukraine, and actually for that reason, is that if we had spent the 2% GDP target, and actually if you take the chunk of investment, not operating expenditure, but the investment that we should have consented, 20% of the overall investment in defense, we will have spent over the last 15 years 300 billion euros more in defense capabilities. And they are missing in the stores, in the warehouses.
If I look at what I have lived myself and previous crises, I mean, basically, in order to make changes, you need 3 T's. That's what a 3T model. So you need threat, you need trust, and you need time.
I think a big question as well that one should really ask, that Europe should ask itself, and is Europe at war or not? Because I think we seem to want the output as if we would be at war, but still we operate with peacetime economies, peacetime processes in every perspective.